In the last episode, we discussed why so important money needs to preserve its value. In this episode, we will discuss how scarce Bitcoin is and how it plays a role in value preservation. Remember to support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing. Thank you. A scarce commodity is something that has a limited supply. It isn't easy to create, copy, or otherwise access. Physical stuff can be scarce, like we've seen with gold, but digital things are an entirely different matter. A byte is very easy and cheap to copy, as the music and film industries have painfully discovered in the early days of the internet. That's why digital money, such as cryptocurrency, isn't a file you keep on your hard drive. That would be impractical, as anyone with a computer would then be able to just infinitely copy it around. You may be surprised to hear that 97% of all fiat money only exists digitally. So all the money in your bank account, for example, are just entries on your bank's accounting system. Even the 3% physical banknotes and coins are accounted for as entries on a central bank's digital books. Bitcoin is also based on a digital ledger. The crucial difference between Bitcoin and fiat is the way rules are created to govern it, when, how much new money is added to the system, and how the ledger is maintained. And it just so happens that these differences change everything. Money can only be useful, and sound, if the ledgers can be trusted to be accurate and honest, and if its supply is kept under control. This means unreasonable amounts of money won't suddenly be created or destroyed, with consequential impact on its spending power. So how do fiat currencies solve this today? Simple. The government manages money, the ledger, for its currency either directly, by controlling physical money creation, minting, and managing and allowing the creation of credit, debit relationships between itself, banks and people. To do this, the central bank licenses a few select institutions, like banks and building societies, to keep ledgers of their own. The sum of the credit of all the records from the ledgers of all the banks of a country, including the central bank, is the total supply of that currency. We then collectively agree that the only books which are to be trusted are those kept by these institutions, and that they will keep the books properly. This consensus comes from trust that they'll keep their obligations, as well as in the rule of law. This authority-based trust system is what holds the traditional money systems together. The reason we can use our money online is because we trust that banks won't let people cheat and spend more money than they have. We even trust them to create money, lending out more than the deposits they hold, and assuming risks for complex investment strategies. More on this below. Though the system in practice is far more complicated, the general principle relies on trust. We must trust that institutions will behave in everyone's best interest, and by doing so we grant them the authority and control over the money system. Even if this centralized system works most of the time, it still has a few noticeable weaknesses. For example, while your money is legally yours, it's never really under your custody. Every time you pay for a 2 ringgit coffee with your card, you are effectively asking your bank to subtract 2 ringgit from your account, and for the vendor's bank to add 2 ringgit to the shop's account. A single central point of failure is more vulnerable to corruption, manipulation, or plain old external pressure. This leaves the door open to abuse, mismanagement, and economic exclusion. However, sticking to our central theme, the most worrying side effect of fiat money, money based only on institutional trust, is how it undermines scarcity. As more value is created via economic activity, new money must be introduced in the system so that the economy can continue to flow. Grossly oversimplifying, new fiat money is created by commercial banks. The extent to which they create new money is rationed by the central bank. These are common ways. Providing credit, like loans to a new customer that become deposits. Buying existing assets which again become deposits, providing overdraft facilities, which are deposits that can be spent. This rationing is a delicate balance. On the one hand, if too little money is created, spending slows down and the economy may grind to a halt. In practice, this almost never happens. On the other hand, if too much money is created, then the value of the entire supply is diluted, prices rise, and everyone loses purchasing power. This is called inflation, and in extreme cases turns to hyperinflation, which may lead to a whole country going bankrupt. Historically, this tends to happen rather often with national currencies. Either way, human institutions are ultimately in charge of the levers to the money supply, meaning there's no real scarcity. This is why fiat currencies, by definition, can't be considered sound money. As we've just seen, centralized systems can be vulnerable. However, up until 2009, it was arguably the only way to make a secure digital money, but not a sound one. Bitcoin breaks with this approach from the very beginning, and we'll explore exactly how in the next lesson. Hope this learning provide a new perspective.